This week's challenge for Espire 1 is the Wolf Challenge. It's one of my favourites. It's the Takedown category. That means that you essentially have to take down every threat in the environment and get to the goal. So here's a run where it's a more traditional run where you're just as quick as you can trying to take down all the enemies using the rifles or weapons available to you. We've also got tools like Espire Vision to see enemies and threats through walls, as well as Espire Instinct, which allows us to slow down time to line up the perfect shot. And so this is one way you can play an Espire 1 weekly challenge. We've got our last shot there. The only issue is, despite doing it quickly, it's not going to be enough to get a good time on the leaderboard this week, because this week's category is Expenditure. And in Expenditure runs, every action you do in the game has a cost involved. So every time you slow down time, that's an adrenal charge. Every time you use Espire Vision, that's a radium filament that needs to be replaced. And obviously, every time you kill guards, it costs more money than knocking them out. So actually this week, an alternative way to do the run is one where you literally want to be as cheap as possible, to the Aussie government, of course. So here, an alternative approach is to do things like always knock out the guards. That's cheaper. Instead of tasing them with the repair tool, you want to just whack them on the head with it. And obviously you don't want to avoid detection at all. The challenge would fail, but also there's a cost if they're able to get to an alert point. So here, instead of using Espire Vision, which costs money, I can use my hand cam. Just using the hand cam on the hand allows me to still see enemies through walls. I can cause distractions, knock out the guards, and continue in a much cost-effective way than using Espire Vision. Espire as well can throw itself around the environment. So here, an alternative approach being quiet is just dropping on the guards. In fact, probably should have done that for the whole run. So here we've kind of got an option with that guard of, he heard my footsteps, so he can kind of come out, we can drop down on him. I like to try and throw the repair tool at the guards, but my aim is just absolutely shocking. That time it worked, but trust me, it's not as easy as it looks. So here, we're able to get a much better time because the only cost on the expenditure line items is essentially knocking out the guards, the cheapest way to meet the requirements instead of killing them, as well as the agent salary.